Arganissima, New York. Your exotic skin, hair, and beauty source, and your one-stop shop for all your natural and organic skin and hair care, featuring authentic organic Moroccan oil and prickly pear seed oil and much more. Bringing you only the best, straight from the source and proudly produced in the USA. So what are you waiting for? Shop today. Arganissima, New York. Your beauty is our duty.
Folks, welcome back to the iHealth channel, the Sales World channel, iHealth Radio, the ENBC network, the whole network, basically, with your host, Hurricane H. I have a treat today, folks. I really have a treat. And my treat is a fellow podcaster, probably a more experienced podcaster, I would say. Been doing this, had some serious guests on, but he's also a bestseller with multiple books. And his main passion is to help business entrepreneurs add another zero to their digits, basically to their portfolio, make more money. Whatever you are, if you're in the 6, he wants you to get 7, and if you're 7, hopefully the 8, whatever it takes. But that's what he does. And he has a whole different way of going about it, and he's helped hundreds of businesses to date. And again, just to give you a quick idea, this is a dude that actually had some real big time business folks, and including Barbara Corcoran, one of the Shark Tank, hosts. And so basically, I mean, he knows this stuff well enough. So for those of you, again, watching and listening right now, you're in for a treat. He also has 2 podcast, programs, and you can definitely look up to his and just, get in and listen in and just get that mojo, get the ingredients. It's all about information and how to do things. It also helps as a business, itself, other people get better and develop their own podcast and so on and so forth. So he does a lot. Again, without any further ado, I have with me Nicky Billou. And Nicky, welcome to the show.
Brother, thanks for having me on. Honored to be here.
Oh, no, the honor is mine. I mean, like I said, I am humbled, where you're with me here and my guest. I should be your guest right now. But you know what? I love it because this says a lot about you and your personality and your ability to do more and help you not only just take in and doing the shows, you're also going out and sharing the value and helping other folks such as myself, create some knowledge and information and share it with, a vaster audiences, I would say worldwide. So thank you. Now everything begins with a story, and you do have a good one. A story that began a while ago. And, what is that story? What is your background? How you got into doing what you're doing today?
Well, I'm originally an immigrant from the Middle East. I'm a Christian from Iran. When I was 11 years old, the Islamic Revolution happened in Iran, and it turned my world upside down. My father, God rest his soul, he could see that this wasn't going to be a great place to raise his family anymore because, the folks that took over the government were out and out tyrants. They were out to kill anybody associated with the old regime, and they wanted to create a new regime. And not that we were part of the old regime, but we were a minority in terms of our ethnicity and our religion. So Dad made a plan to get us out of there, and he got us out of there. But I was 11 years old, right? I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't want to leave my home. So I wasn't happy. But looking back now, it was the greatest thing he ever did. He took us from tyranny to freedom. And it made me a champion for freedom, free expression, and free enterprise. To me, inside every human breast beats the living heart of freedom. And I do what I do because I want to serve the entrepreneur. To me, the entrepreneur is society's greatest hero. They're the man, they're the woman with the vision, the dream to make the world a better place. And what happens is that this crazy world we live in beats them down. We go through a lot of stuff. We make good things happen for ourselves, but sometimes you get a 98 on a test, and what question do you ask yourself? Well, why did I miss those 2 questions? You know what I mean? And I'm here to help people understand, to remind them who they really are, and when we help people do that, we bring them up, we lift them up, and we allow them to grasp victory from the jaws of defeat in the most uncommon of hours.
Whew. How do I come back from that one? That's pretty tough stuff. I mean, that's deep, real powerful messaging right now. And so first things first. Wow, story, unbelievable. I get it. I truly, listen. I'm an immigrant too, and although I didn't escape tyranny or any of that, I mean, I came with my own, I guess, choice, and as a young person who had the American dream, if you want to call it that way, and I followed my dream, my goals, and I established myself quite well, over the last 30 years in the States, but nothing compared to what you had, well, at least your parents and you as a younger child, which is a very difficult thing to see, that you're in a revolution. Not a lot of people can speak about it. And you're right. You were a minority in a country that, had very controversial policies over the years, and, ups and downs. And it's just to be as, as simple as possible. We can deep dive on that one separately. But yeah, I mean, it's a big change, but it was a decision that actually made a difference for you as a child and growing up to do more. I love what you said about freedom, free enterprise, just hardcore. That word freedom is big. I mean, that is huge. People die for that word. I mean, they fight wars about, for freedoms, for, I guess, having the ability to enjoy, to do more. Yeah, it is amazing. And I think without freedom, there's little you can do. Doesn't matter what you have, right? I mean, you basically are caught up, you're stuck. There's not much room. You need room. I mean, freedom is just everything. You can operate. But what does that mean, right? For people, we understand the big concept of freedom, but in the business world, what does that mean? I think culturally, we are almost, how can I say, programmed from the day we begin our journey in school, that you're probably going to be an employee. You're going to be pretty much working a certain way and looking for the next, opportunity to grow in your career path, step by step, the ladder, all that stuff. But not a lot of people are being trained to become free enterprise, and entrepreneurs, and just like, I'm going to do more and grow. And those are the ones that actually rule the world. Those are the ones that are making the millions or the billions, I would say. And so that's a big, concept. So let's talk about that. The difference in society, and we're going to talk about, like, to your point, the economy, all the craziness that we live in today. Recession, upcoming potential one, the pandemic, all that stuff is big, and it affects a lot of ways: the brain, the mind, the body, the economy, everything. So let's just talk about that concept of freedom, enterprise, and the brainwash, I would say, or the system that has been designed to almost inhibit those ideologies.
Okay, so here's the deal, man. Society raises us to be victims. People who are victorious raise themselves. It all starts with a decision that I will win. I'm done living a life of a loser. I'm done living the life of somebody who's told what to do. I'm done, living someone else's vision for who I should be. I'm making my own way. And the victorious people, they understand that, and that's what they go after. And if you want to be victorious in life, you've got to make a decision to be victorious, to start a business, to follow the path that you forge in the wilderness, to march to the tune of your own drummer. Decision. Then you got to commit. You got to be willing to suck before you're bad, before you're mediocre, before you're good, before you're great, before you're iconic, before you're the best that ever was. That's a commitment. Then you've got to be coachable. You got to hire the coach. Robin Sharma was a client of mine, said to me once, Nicky, if you ever want to double your income, you got to triple your investment in personal and professional development. You got to hire the coaches, join the masterminds, attend the conferences, do the courses, read the books. If you spent $10,000 last year on you, your most important, valuable asset, this year spend 30. If you spent 30 last year, this year spend 90. If you spend 90 this year, next year spend 270. Because that is what's going to take you and your income to the next level. That's what's required. And then finally, you got to be resourceful. You've got to be resourceful. It doesn't matter how much resources you have. It matters how bad do you want change. How bad do you want change? If the answer is not very badly at all, then you're going to lose. You're going to be one of life's lovable losers. Okay? Those wandering generalities that wander around not knowing what they want or who they want to be. Or you can choose to be someone bigger, someone better. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Cool. Again, we're talking about power here. I told you guys this is going to be a power trip today. I mean, just strong stuff and real. So Nicky, I have to say, I love what you just said, and I do believe in it, from all my heart. But now, the question here is, we have the majority, I would say, the vast majority worldwide, West world, East, doesn't matter, is caught up in that first, that loser type of thing. Now, obviously, people can be insulted with the idea, what do you say? I'm a loser. I work for a living. I'm doing stuff, but I think what the message here is not that you're a loser. You're just not victorious to the level that you want. Maybe you're not ambitious or whatever the case may be. Maybe I'm being nice.
No, listen, dude. I don't do soft, man. We live in the era of the soft, man. And I'm not into that. You're a loser. You're either a winner or you're a loser. And the fastest way to get out of being a loser is to admit that you're a loser and to be done with it. You got to be sick and tired of where you're at. Okay, so several years ago, I was going through a divorce. My then wife, seemingly out of the blue, decided she didn't want to be married to me. Maybe I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. I was blindsided. I spiraled. She kicked me out of the house. I was sleeping on my mother's couch. I made no money. Friend of mine took pity on me, bought a ticket for me to go to a conference. I went. I saw a man deliver a talk. It spoke to me. And when he was done, I elbowed people out of the way. I ran to be first. I started talking to him. I told him who I was. And I told him my story. And I said, I think I need to hire you. He looks at me. He goes, okay, you need to know my minimum fee is $5,000 for 5 hours of my time. I get paid upfront in advance. I offer no guarantees, no refunds. You still want to hire me, son? I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't have any money. He said, I'm going to give you some free coaching. Free coaching? Give it to me. I love free coaching. Give me free coaching. He said, it doesn't matter how much money you have. I go, wait a minute. But you want $5,000 from me. I thought it mattered very much. He said, listen to me. I got 20 people lining up to work with me. I don't need your $5,000. Okay? I got a couple $100,000 that's coming in my bank account because these people that are begging to work with me. You need me. I don't need you. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. He said, what matters is how bad do you want change? You're sleeping on your mother's couch. You can't feed your kids. Your wife kicked you out of the house. How much longer you want to tolerate this? A day? A week? A month? A year? A lifetime? Like, whoa, no. Let me come see you in a couple days. I got urgency. I called some people. I was one of the top fitness trainers in the world at that time. And there were some guys I was talking to that said neither yes nor no. I go up to them and I go, yo, I got good news. You're fat and you need to lose weight or you're going to have a health event like diabetes, stroke, heart attack. I'm broke and I need money or I won't be able to see my kids. So let's make a deal, half price. But you got to say yes now. You got to pay me in full right now. What's it going to be? And they go, all right, I'll pay you right now. I'll pay you right now. Whew. They paid me. I had $2,000. I was pleased as punch. I went to see this guy. Here's $2,000. He said, oh, that's nice, but I need $5. I go, $5. Oh, okay. I said, all right, listen. How many people have you told this story to that you just told me? He said, over the years? I go, yeah, over the years. 30, maybe 40. I got 30, maybe 40. That's a lot. He said, besides me, who else came back to you with any money? He said, oh, that's easy. You're the very first. I go, I'm the very first. He goes, you are the very first. I go, I am the very first. You are the very first. All right, take my money, sign a contract saying I'll pay you the rest in 30, 60 days, whatever the case may be. The rest is history. In 6 months, I made 6 figures. I paid them off early because I wanted change badly. How bad do you want change? I was a loser then. Are you a loser today? And don't be afraid of the word. You get offended, good. I hope you're offended. You should be offended. You should be offended at yourself for allowing yourself to be in that position. That's who you should be offended at, not for the man who told you the truth and gave enough of a shit about you to be honest with you. Because we live in the era of people that are dishonest liars to you. Oh, no, you're great. You're so brave. You're awesome. No, you're not. your life sucks and you know it sucks, and you're having somebody tell you you deserve a participation trophy, real life don't work that way. Real life don't work that way. All right? So get off your duff and win. Stop losing.
Nicky, you're telling it as it is, and I love it. I mean, straight to the point. It's a straight punch, and you know what? You got to take the punch. To your point, there is no other way to break it down. I mean, it's either you're one way or the other. You lose or you win. If you want to be on the winner's side, you have to take you have to make action. You have to make things happen. Take the action, make it happen. You did, you had an event. You had a catastrophic event, a life-changing event, which triggered this. And luckily, someone took your hand and took you to this conference where you met this coach, and the rest was history. But he put you on the spot, to your point. Same thing here, as you said, and I love what you're saying to people. What he said to you, you want in, you got to pay up front, you got to do this. How bad you want it? I think everybody watching right now, listening, how bad do you want it? I know you want it bad. Everybody wants it bad, especially in the world that we live in with social media, looking at the Ferraris and all these fancy cars, fancy houses, and these billionaires. Well, guess what? To be there, it's going to take some hard work and some decision. The decision is to be made today. Now is the time. I love to say that all the time. The time is now. It is now. You have to make it now, and that's it. There's no tomorrow. You got to start sometime. So I love it. But you did also something that is powerful for people to actually take on today, and that is whatever it took. You went. You're creative enough. You use what your skills were, and you actually was able to create a little bit of fun to start your journey, and the rest was history. Many people sometimes they need that. One thing that I can tell you, and I've had a few guests that we discussed this before, that post-pandemic, many people made that change. I would say it became almost a catalyst for a lot of folks because everything changed when it happened, when the lockdown happened. I mean, I know in Canada was even worse than we had it in the US. Around the world, people have made that difference, that change, because a lot of people realize that they work for a company that didn't care. That, to your point, a lot of people were like too nice to them. Yeah, you're cool. You're doing good. Yeah, keep up doing what you're doing. It's not. You know when you're not doing good. We all know that. And by the way, we have to be honest with ourselves. And I love what you said. You need to be thankful for people that are telling you the real truth, as opposed to just being a hypocrite and telling you like everything that you want to hear. Well, yet they don't care. Because if they'd really cared, they would tell you. So Nicky, thank you so much for that. And it is if anything from this show, this part itself should be enough for anyone watching or listening right now to change and catapult their lives into a different world. I personally have experienced both sides. I can tell you, Nicky. I again, when I came to the States, I had that American dream, and what it was is that you're going to start a job and you're going to build a career and you move up the ladder, and I did all that, only to realize that to your point, I was working for other people's dreams, for other people's visions. As a matter of fact, I helped a lot of companies make a lot of money. I had not much to show for other than my income and whatever I made over those years, but that's about it. The only thing I did learn, of course, experience, blah, 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 and that gave me some other drive to do things. But I've also been a little bit of an entrepreneur years, here and there. I've tried different businesses. I'm still in business. I'm doing things. But I do agree with you in one thing. If you want to be a real winner, victorious, you can't do it working for other people. Sorry, guys. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be hard? Definitely. It's a lot of work. People will make fun of you, probably will ridicule you, and there's like, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? Blah, blah. I heard it myself, and I still hear it sometimes, and guess what? It doesn't faze me. I'm going to go through like a bull. I'm just going through and destroy whatever is on my way, and I'll make sure that I get to what I need. And that's a different, approach to things. Sounds very heavy, sounds crazy, it sounds maybe egoistic, whatever you want to call it, selfish, but at the end of the day, you're number one. And between you and that success, between you and victory is what you're going to do. And I love what you said, Nicky. We tend to be cheap when it comes to investing in ourselves. Many of us, and I would say even me personally, although I do listen.
How much did you invest in yourself last year?
Personally? Just about 10,000, I would say. So I'm working.
So this year you need to do at least 30.
I got to do it. I got to do it.
Minimum 30.
No excuse.
And the truth of the matter is that if you don't, If you cheap out on that, it's like your most important asset. Listen, if you have a landscaping business and you don't have a truck, you don't have a business, right?
Yep.
You don't have a business. Let's be honest, right? If you're in a business where your personal brand matters, like your business and my business, my personal brand matters. If I'm not investing in that brand, if you're not investing in that brand, it's over. It's over.
I love
Full
it.
stop. Full stop. It's over.
Nicky, completely agree. And you're right. I mean, by the way, I've been investing in myself for many years and learning and just, getting, reading, doing all the stuff, whatever I can get, on my way to learn more and do things and just upgrade my style, my life, my everything, my understanding of business. That's what I've been doing. And I'm still doing it. And I would say to you this, and people are watching right now, listening, and some people may be following me on social media, and you can see my progression. I am working, crazy. I'm doing things, people probably can be like, what is he doing? I'm doing a lot, and I know where my vision is. I know where I want to be, and I'm going to continue doing it. As long as I live and breathe, I will do it, and I'll continue doing it. And that's my commitment to me and to my family. And I can say this also, it is not easy. It takes time. It takes a lot of work. It's hours. It's knowledge. It's putting the time and investing money, sweat, time. That's it. Period. Enough. And the minute you decide that maybe I want the easy way out, there's no easy way out. There's none. You think easy way out? Maybe you need to go to work for someone and just sit, go 9 to 5, get paid, and that's it. Paycheck to paycheck. That life is gone. I mean, I've known, I've understood that, and it's a pill. And I love what, this topic sounds like, you're Morpheus. I'm going to call you Morpheus, Nicky. You're giving the people the pill here. Take it. Once you know it, there's no coming back. You got to keep going. And that's really, I love that reference of Morpheus and the red and blue pills, but it's reality. You wake up and it's reality and you have to deal with it and you got to pursue it and you got to push forward. No looking back. You can't look back. You can't turn back. You just got to keep going. But if not, it's okay. You're going to be dormant and that's your formula, but don't complain. You'll get what you invest. Bottom line. So, Nicky, you have 7 books, I believe.
9.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. So 9. All of them have very powerful titles. I can just, finish line thinking, how to think and win like a champion, the thought leader's journey. I mean, and the list goes on. Just hearing those books. And by the way, folks, if you're watching and listening, and I'll put the links to them in my the description of the show. So you do need to check them out because I know these are powerful books.
The first investment you can make in yourself right now, honestly, if you're listening to the show, is just go to Amazon right now to Nicky Billou. I even say this to you, brother. Go to Amazon right now on your phone, type in Nicky Billou and look at all those books and just order them and let them come in and read them. It's a good start because those books are full of powerful knowledge. And for under $200, you can give yourself like a 30-hour education in having the mentality of a winner. You know what I mean? And specific things. So the thought leader's journey goes deep into how do you go and brand yourself as a thought leader, right? How do you do that? How do you go from having like no income in business for yourself to $500,000 to $1 million a year? That's what that book's about. Finish line thinking is about how to go from thinking like a loser to thinking like a winner. I used to work with Olympic gold medal athletes. Olympic gold medalists wrote the foreword to the second edition of that book. You grab that book, you run with it, right? And then the other book, The Power of Connecting. It's about how to leverage social capital. There's 3 forms of capital: real capital, intellectual capital, social capital. This is about going into your network. Social capital is your network. Intellectual capital is your expertise, right? So this shows you how to go into your network and turn that network and those relationships into good money for yourself, right? And then I wrote a book with a client of mine who's $1 million a year earner, and it's how to create $1 million a year income with Perry Wong, a fellow, immigrant who's like originally Hong Kong based. He makes $1 million a year as a top insurance agent. So if you just go and you buy these books, like, wow, that'll change your life right there. Boom. You do that, you start reading these books, you start implementing the things that are in them, your life will just take off like a rocket. That's a small investment. A secondary investment you can make is just your time. Listen to podcasts like this or podcasts like mine. That's just your time. A third investment you can make is you can go be part of like high-level masterminds and workshops. So I do this high-level mastermind 4 times a year for people who want to build a powerful personal brand and they want to add a zero to their monthly and annual income. So I say to them, listen, you make a $15,000 investment in yourself in this regard, you're going to get back a zero. So if you're making 80,000 a year, you're going to go from 80,000 a year to like $250,000 a year. That's a powerful return. You put $15,000 into yourself and you add $170,000 to your annual income. Wow. Like that's what I'm talking about, right? And people listening should do this. So if you're not already doing this, or if you're kind of like dabbling at doing this, that's my advice to you. Start small. Start by doing free resources like podcasts or low-cost resources like books. There's no excuse for not doing that. Like zero. If you like the cut of my jib, if I haven't turned you off with my directness and you go, yeah, I need more of that in my life, then at least go buy the books. But if you want more, if you want to go, listen, I want to add that zero to my income, then what you need to do is you need to talk to someone like me. You need to talk to me about coming to check out my workshops. Or if you're like a high-level businessman and you really want to go to like 7 figures, even 8 figures, then you need to have a conversation with me about, hey, how do you coach like guys like me, gals like me, to go from where I am to where I want to be? And where I want to be is a beautiful 7, 8-figure place. And we have that conversation. But if you're not doing that, if all you're doing is, I'm listening to podcasts, this was great, and then you forget about it all and you go back into your life, man, that's not good. That's a waste of your time, honestly. Complete waste of your time.
I have to say, I love your direct, approach. There's nothing, actually, there's nothing better than being direct and straight. And you're not.
It's how you make money the fastest, bro. Like, listen, let's say I was coaching you. Would you want me to pussyfoot around my advice, or would you want me to go, yo, H, this is what needs to happen. Quit that crap that you're doing now. Do this instead. Go do it and get back to me faster. Do you want me to like wait 6 months before I tell you that?
Oh hell no, dude. Well, first of all, if you invest your money, you want to see a return on investment right away, right? So you're talking about big bucks. You don't want to dabble with this. You want to make it happen. And you're right. At least a show. I mean, you are the host of the #1 podcast in the world, literally for thought leadership, and it is called the Thought Leader Revolution. And I think you have another one. What's the other actually podcast, Nicky?
It's a podcast for men. It's called Sovereign Man. I believe we're living in a time where men, manhood, and masculinity are being crapped upon by the world and society. It's saying, oh, men are bad, toxic, blah, blah, blah. And I think this is exactly wrong. Our society needs strong men more than ever today. So this is a place where the 24/7, 365 assault on masculinity, we fight back against it. We have iron sharpen iron. We help men become better, stronger with other men. So, man, if you're a man and you understand the value of being around powerful men and a masculine presence, this is a place for you. If you're a man who feels a little bit lost and you want to learn how to be a real strong man, this is a place for you. If you're a man who just wants to be around other men to give, this is a place for you. So the Sovereign Man podcast, the Sovereign Man movement, that's what we're all about. That's more of a legacy for me. We charge for it, but not very much, like $100 a month. That's it. To be a part of this, we should be charging $300 a month, but we want to charge, something so people have skin in the game. Plus we have expenses, obviously, but we also want to charge low enough so a broke man can find the money. You know what I'm talking about? But you want to work with me in business, I'm going to charge you large, because if you want to make $1 million this year, you better pay me at least 50, because I got to get 50 for you to really believe, yeah, I paid enough that I deserve to get $1 million out of this. And that's how it's got to be.
Nicky, you said the key word, skin in the game. If you're not invested, you're not going to take, like everything else. We hear this all the time in the business approach. I don't have the money. I'm not sure. Well, once
That's
you invest,
a lie. That's a lie. Everybody's lying who says that. It's not that you don't have the money. It's that you don't see the value. Just be honest and say, I don't see the value. It's not I don't have the money. Listen, if there's an ROI, you can find a way to get money. Businesses find money to invest in things all the time. They borrow money. They go and they find clients who owe them money and they get that money in faster. There's all kinds of ways to come up with money. If you don't see the value, be honest and say, I don't see the value. Or if you're scared, go, I'm scared. I'd like to do it, but I'm scared. It might not work for me. I don't know, whatever. But don't lie and say the big three lies. The big three lies are, I don't have the money. I got to talk to my wife or my business partner, or let me think about it. There's nothing to think about. The fastest, the most successful people in the world make decisions in seconds. They get all the facts and they go yes or they go no. And losers go, I need to think about it. I never do anything on the spot. I got to sleep. No, you don't. You're lying. You're lying. No, you don't. This is just how you avoid being powerful, how you avoid making a decision. Make a decision. Listen, if you came to me and you said, Nicky, I want to coach you in losing weight. And I would tell you flat out, now I already got a coach. Not interested, right? I wouldn't go, well, H, I think I'll let you know. I got to think about it. No, there's nothing to think about. I already got a coach, right? But if you came to me and you said to me, yo, Nicky, man, I'm going to help you sell 1 million copies of your latest book. I got a proven system. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. Let's talk. You know what I'm talking about? That's the sort of thing we got to be all over.
But you're right. It's excuses. And I think we live in a world full of those. And they're basically just a nice little facade that we put in, a little, blockade, because to your point, we don't want to have that decision made. And decision making is probably one of the biggest pieces of people who are leaders, or people who are followers, people who make things happen, and people that don't. You're right. You have to make a decision, and then you move and you walk and you make it happen. It's one idea. Okay, I need to get it done. Let's get it done. What do I need to start? And what is the minimum I need to start with? And you start banging. That's my formula as well. I don't, sleep on things. I mean, I'm crazy. I think about it. I just go the next day. Literally, I write it out in the night and I start working on it in the morning. No matter what happens, I'll just keep pursuing it. I got so many things going on at the same time. It's not even funny. And people look at me like, how do you do it? Like, I'm doing it. I got to keep doing. Something's going to give. I know it's going to give, but I'm just not going to give up on it. That's the bottom line. But you're right. Being straight and knowing that you got to do things to start to invest, and you got to get it done. So I love it. I mean, your podcast, I mean, the thought leader. Now let's for our audiences, define for us thought leadership in simple words.
So the difference between an expert and a thought leader is the best way to do it. An expert is someone who knows something, while a thought leader is someone who's known for knowing something. Experts are a dime a dozen. Thought leaders are rare and valuable. Another way to say it is an expert is like a cover band, while a thought leader plays original music. You want to be a thought leader, because as a thought leader, you can add that 0 to 2 zeros to your income, lickety split. Like, this is how I help my clients. Let's say someone like you says to me, okay, Nicky, you know what? You say you can help me add a 0 to my income. Let's talk. I'm like, all right, let's talk. And I'd go, H, here's the process. Fill out this form. I want to see where you're at. And then I want to go, okay, you're here. You want to be here. Why? I want to understand why. What have you done already that hasn't worked, or hasn't worked as well as you wanted to? Why? I want to get deep into why. I want to know where the blood is coming from, the bleeding neck. And then I want to stanch the blood, and I'm going to say, here's how we're going to do it. And then I'm just going to say to you straight up, H, yo, bro, are you ready to take action to stanch the bleeding and to get you to where you want to be? Yes or no? Not are you ready to buy my program? Are you ready to do my course? Nobody's here to buy my program or do my course. People don't buy their way into something. They buy their way out of something. They don't buy their way into your program. They buy their way out of their pain, out of their dissatisfaction and their discomfort. I don't sell programs. I sell your dream back to you. I sell a way out of your dissatisfaction, your discomfort. That's all I sell. It's not about me. It's not about my program. Who cares about me? Who cares about my program? It's not important. What's important is you. What's important is your dream, your vision. My father always told me life is not about money. It's about people. That person in front of you is someone's father, someone's husband, someone's brother, someone's son. That is someone's mother, someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's wife. You must stand up for them. You got to show them you care, and then you got to close hard. You cannot let your hard close outpace your hard care. Your care's got to be up there, and then you get to keep pace with your close. That's it. Listen, if I talk to you, I like you. You're a good man. And if I see that I can help you, and I don't tell you that I can help you, shame on me. Shame on me. You know what I'm talking about? That's how it's got to be. If I can help you, I'm not letting go until you say yes or no to me. There's going to be no thinking about it. There's going to be no messing around. H, you're going to say to me, Nicky, let's do it. Here's my credit card. Or you're going to say, get out of here. One of those two things. And I will respect either answer. The only answer that I will not respect is a bullshit answer like, I don't know, let me think. No, it's yes or it's no. Quickly answer now. And I don't mind. Hard conversations are what make people rich. Soft conversations are what keep you poor. You want to get rich? Be willing to have hard conversations. Be willing to have hard closes. Be willing to care enough about somebody to earn the right to close hard on them and tell them the truth. And by the way, if they shouldn't do business with you, shame on you if you try to get money out of them just because you need money. That's not their problem. That's your problem. You figure it out. You don't do business with someone who cannot or should not be doing business with you. Never, ever, ever. You say no and say, I'm not the right person to help you.
Nicky, there is a dilemma for people watching or listening right now. It's called comfort zone. You know, I think that is a huge issue that I see where people struggle, and majority of people have a nice, comfortable kind of formula life. They just coasting by, and ups and downs, but it's okay. What do you tell people? I mean, I love your approach. It's straight up, but I mean, people got to wake up from that cozy moment and just, I always say this, it's time to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I live with that motto myself, but you've been doing this, you've shaken a lot of people and made people move and really got them to the next level. What is that advice that you will tell people?
Look, I'm going to be straight with you. If you're not willing to make a decision, make a commitment, get coachable and be resourceful, I can't help you, and I'm not interested in trying. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking for the coalition of the willing. I'm not here to drag 1,000. I'm here to run with 3. You understand what I'm saying?
You want the best of us.
I want the people who are ready.
Yep.
I am not here to convince, to trick, to manipulate people into anything. H, you want to make $1 million a year? That's my question. And that's a real question. You want to make $1 million a year?
Hell yeah.
All right. You want to talk to me about doing that? Yes or no?
Yes.
There you go. If your answer was, hey, Nicky, let me think about it, let me let you know, I'd immediately pull my offer to you. And I'm being straight with you. No disrespect, but I'll pull the offer. I don't have time for people who cannot make a decision. I don't have time. Life is short. I'm 55 years old, okay?
Well,
I am here to make the biggest impact I can possibly make on human beings. And the only way I can do that is if I find the people that are ready to roll. I can't do that by messing around and holding hands and saying, it's going to be okay. Come on, please. No, you don't want to. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Listen, it's a fair, proposition. It's real. So Nicky, question. Personal brand, something you mentioned, right? And
that's what thought leadership is. Thought leadership is creating a powerful personal brand.
So to define it to our audiences, maybe someone hears it is like, well, do I have to have like a brand name to myself? What does that look like for someone from outside?
Well, look, number one is, you got to really want to stand out. You got to understand that you know things, and you got to get the help of me to help you take what you know out of your head and put it out there in a structured format. So allow me to demonstrate, okay? So this is a piece of intellectual property. Remember, I talked about real capital, intellectual capital, social capital. This is some of my intellectual capital. So I will show you how to find your ideal client. How do you find your ideal client? Well, first of all, you got to find the people you've already worked with that you've gotten the best results for. Then you got to find the people that you've worked with that you've enjoyed working with the most. And then you got to find the people you've worked with that have been easiest to deal with, have paid you the best, the most, and easiest. Like they pay quickly, no fuss, no muss. Where all 3 of those intersect is your ideal client. This is something I created to show people how to come up with their ideal client. Now, this is a visual that I showed you. There's a whole lot more that goes into this piece of intellectual property. I show you, H, how do you get your ideal client? Well, there's a process I walk you through to figure out who those people are. Might take you a day to do it, might take you a week, might take you a month, might take you 6 months. But we will get clear on your ideal client. And then we'll get clear on what problems are really bothering them. Now, let's talk about problems again. What is business? Well, business, great question. Business is about solving acute problems for amazing people, and that gives you the right to earn an awesome profit. That is the whole purpose of business. Now, H, do you disagree with anything I just said?
No, not at all.
Right?
Perfect. Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? So this is thought leadership. This is part of Nicky Billou's brand. I created this. So maybe you and I will talk, and maybe we'll find a way to work together some more. Maybe we won't. Maybe this will be our last meeting. But if this is our last meeting and you come and you go, someone says to you, do you know Nicky Billou? Well, who is that dude? Well, you're going to think back and you go, well, that's that dude who is really direct. That's part of his thought leader brand, is be direct, be ready for it. But that's also that dude who's pretty brainy, and he put together detailed models to explain complex subjects in a simple way. So he's direct, and he's the great simplifier. That's what you'll say about me. That's part of my personal brand. That's my thought leadership. I'm a direct man who takes complex business concepts, makes them simple, and allows business people to use them to win. Now, if we end up working together and I make you a lot of money, I get you to $1 million a year, whether it takes me a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and someone says, well, who's Nicky Billou? Then you're going to go, oh, yeah, that's that millionaire. He's a millionaire maker. He made me a millionaire. I made $1 million a year after I started working with him. And that's what you want to be known for, because your thought leadership, your personal brand, and honestly, those terms are not exactly the same, but they are very interchangeable. It's all about what people know you to be. That's it.
We will leave it at that. That's it. I mean, I don't think there's more to add to it. It's so clear. Folks, you're watching and listening right now. I mean, this is not rocket science, clear cut. It's what you see is what you get. So Nicky, there is something about your work, and you've met with so many great people. And what are some of the
social capital, man? I got amazing social capital.
Oh, I'm not even doubting. I mean, I looked at the list of all your guests and the people, but you've met with all these people. What are some of the common denominators for all these successes and successful people?
Well, they all understand decision, commitment, coachability, and being resourceful. They all understand that they need to have a thought leader brand, and they have a thought leader brand. And they are winners. They go after what they want. They've been losers in their life, but they've decided, they made a decision to win. Remember, society raises us to be victims, but people who are victorious raise themselves. These people have all raised themselves.
Self-built millionaires and billionaires. It's a real thing, and it's happening, and it's happening at a good pace. I think probably more than ever in history. Because there are opportunities. Yet, we started the discussion earlier about today's economy, and the world we live in is kind of very unstable. I mean, we've had a recession. Now we are in the middle of a super inflation. We don't know where it's going. So what would you say to people today? Because that's a fear that people have, like, uncertainty. I don't know what's going on. Where is it going to go? What do you tell people today?
Okay, first of all, times of chaos are when some of the greatest fortunes in history have been made. So you need to get excited that these times exist, because there's a storm coming. You don't want to overreact and be fearful, but you don't want to underreact either. You need to be prepared to deal with the storm, because the storm's going to wash away the unprepared. Okay? And then you got to build a bulletproof mindset, an absolutely bulletproof mindset. And then you got to act. That's my advice. You do that, you're going to win. 100%.
Straightforward. Love it. So you say to people, well, I'm going to help you make the $1 million and stuff. But they don't have a business yet. They haven't started yet. So what would that look like for someone who's still lost, not sure where they want to begin? What's their take? What would be their true vision? I mean, I love what you said. You actually dig in to find out what the vision is, and ultimately that gives you a drive and I guess a direction where to kind of guide them towards. But a lot of people may not have that clear vision originally. So how do you get? I mean, there is a difference between someone that's starting from scratch, coming from I guess the loser mentality or the judge.
I think we've been talking about that, right? And I think I've answered that question like on the show for you. You got to make a decision. You got to have commitment. You got to have somebody in your ear. Like you got to be coachable and you got to get resourceful and make it happen. That's it. It's not more complicated than that.
Oh, no, I'm with you, but someone can say, I don't know where I got the decision part, but I don't know what's going to make me the $1 million. What is that? I mean,
it doesn't matter. That is the wrong thing to think about. That's what losers think about. Well, how? No. You haven't earned the right to ask how yet. You haven't. All you've earned the right to do is make the decision. Once you make the decision, you start acting and you start seeking the mentors. That's it. There's no more to it. Don't overcomplicate it. This is the formula. It's like, listen, here's the deal. You want to be a fast runner? Start running. Stop going, well, how do I run? And what should my pace be? Am I getting shut up? Run. Just run. Do it enough times, you'll learn. There's no other way to learn. Get a coach to tell you what things you're doing wrong and run. Mark McCoy, Olympic gold medalist, wrote the foreword to my book, a personal friend of mine. He was called Mr. Fourth Place because he would place fourth in all the big races, the Olympics, the World Championships. All right? That's what he'd do. And then he retired because, you know what, he was done. And then one fella who was a world champion then, Colin Jackson, went to Canada in 88, pre-internet days, found him and said, come back to Wales, run with me. He said, okay. His coach said, hey, yo, Colin, you sure you want to have Mark run with you? I know what's wrong with him. And if I help him fix it, he might beat you. He said, yeah, man. He's an old man. I'll kick his ass. Plus, we'll both get better. And sure enough, he told Mark to take one run over the hurdles. He was a high hurdler. And Mark's foot was a little crooked. Just a little crooked. And he said to him, why does that matter? He says, you're losing an inch with that step. He goes, an inch? I came all this way for an inch? He said, no, brother, you take 39 of those steps in a race. That's 39 inches. That's the difference between first place and fourth place. He said, how do I fix it? Concentrate. Your foot will go straight. He did, and it did. And a year and a half later, he won an Olympic gold medal. That's how you do it, man. All this questioning, no. Stop asking too many questions. Start acting more. Ask less questions and act more. When you act more, you earn the right to ask questions. Until you've acted, you've earned nothing. Nothing. There was an apprentice system that was in place for centuries. It's terrible that it's gone because the apprentice system had a master teach a young person everything. And that's how that young person became a master themselves. Become an apprentice to success. Stop asking questions. Go and study what to do and do it. Just do it. Act. I told you everything. 4 or 5 times we've gone over this. You want to be a thought leader? This is how you do it. You want to succeed? Decide, commit, get a coach, be resourceful. End of discussion.
That's it. Message received, folks. That's it. You know what to do. This is it. I mean, there's no fussing about it and getting, crazy about it. It's a matter of making it happen. That's it. And which is what it's all about. So
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Nicky, we're coming to the end of the show. I usually ask, some words of wisdom. I think we've had a lot of wisdom today, for the hour. I just want to thank you for being with us and for being blunt, straight, and powerful with us here, because I think sometimes we do need that wake up. By the way, I do love that concept that you just talked about, the apprenticeship, because you're right. The master, you learn, you don't ask questions, you just do, and what you're told until you become a good and greater and greater, and eventually the
Then
best
you
and
earn the
best.
right to ask questions.
By
You
the way,
don't have to write the questions at the beginning. You just go, I want this, and I got to learn from somebody. Be humble. Be humble.
sure.
Be humble. Like, I got to tell you, right now, I used to be a top trainer, and when I got into business, I let myself go. Every year I gained 1 to 5 pounds. I looked at myself in the mirror and I go, you're a fat fuck. I hired a guy to train me. Okay. I hired a guy to work with me. And I've been with him for almost 3 months now. All right. I've lost 22 pounds in 3 months. And I don't question this guy. Like, if I do something and I don't get it, or I don't understand it, or it causes me pain, I go, is there something else I can do? I ask those kinds of questions, but I'm not, hey, what should I do? Why should I eat this way? No. I do what he says. He's the coach. I'm the apprentice. That's it. It's my job to listen, not my job to let me prove to you that I'm smart. No, hell no. Who the hell am I? I'm just some fat fuck that this man has graciously agreed to help become skinny again. That's all. That's all. Now, we're friendly. He likes me. I like him. All that's true. But bro, straight up, no ego around this guy. I don't get to have an ego. He's the guy who's got the knowledge. Me, I'm just a client. And I'm grateful that he's decided to take me on. I'm grateful because he has 550 clients. He didn't have to take me on.
Listen, it is real. And by the way, as you were talking about the apprenticeship, there is a model that I apply, or at least I follow, very similar, which is in the martial arts. I mean, you're in the martial arts, you don't question, your professor or high ranking officer.
Sensei, your sensei.
You just listen, you learn as you do. How many reps you do, the more you do, and you don't get to question. And eventually you start figuring out, like, oh, it works. This shit does work eventually. And that's all there is. And then you go to the next level, and you never actually finish learning, and you keep learning because there's always something more to learn, and you don't question. And it's like, it is real. And it's a concept that works, folks. I mean, for those that have not been in martial arts, you might think it's far-fetched, but it's not. But it's good for work. And even in business, let's say even if you work for someone, you listen to the folks that have the more experience, and learn from them and become the expert. I mean, thought leader would be better, but that's what we learned.
There you go. I love it, man. You are the man. You get it, man. You get it.
Nicky, thank you so much for choosing to be on the show and really sharing your this is a power hour. I mean, I cannot have words. I don't even think of words right now that can describe, the opportunity to have you and sharing your wisdom with us here. So again, folks, there you have it. You had a great hour. It's powerful. Maybe not some stuff that you were expecting to hear, but the truth hurts sometimes. But we have to get up and just roll with the punches, as they say, and just make it happen.
God bless you, man. Listen, I want you guys to know I'm being rough on you on this call from a place of love and caring. From a place of love and caring. Because if I just came here to try to look good for you, to try to make you like me, I failed you. And anybody in your life, when it comes to your success, I take it very seriously, right? I want to encourage you. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. You can make it work. But you get enough of that kind of messaging in the world today, right? You get enough of it. You can do it. You need some tough messaging. You need somebody to wake you up and get that spark going in you. Not make you feel comfortable. Oh yeah, I can do it. I can relax. Don't relax. Don't relax for a minute.
So you just did it. You just gave us that final advice. I appreciate it, Nicky. So folks, We've had a great time. Nicky, thank you so much for being with us today and for all this, again, lovely, powerful, pitch. Folks, we'll be talking soon. New day, new show, new topic. I'm Hurricane H. Talk soon. Bye for now.